Most men believe discipline is something they are supposed to add to their lives. They believe it is a habit, a personality trait, a form of toughness, something you either have or you don't. This belief is the first mistake. Discipline is not added. It is revealed. And most men never reveal it because they spend their entire lives running from the one condition discipline requires: stillness. From a young age, men are trained to move, do something, react, respond, prove, chase. Silence feels uncomfortable. Inaction feels like failure. Stillness feels like weakness. But discipline is born in stillness, not the stillness of laziness, the stillness of self-command. Henry Ford understood this when almost no one else did. While other men chased opportunity, he studied repetition. While others searched for shortcuts, he examined process. While others glorified speed, he refined order. This is why most men never become disciplined. They are addicted to movement without direction. Look carefully at the modern man. His days are full. His calendar is crowded. His attention is fragmented. Yet nothing meaningful accumulates. He mistakes activity for progress. He mistakes urgency for importance. He mistakes stimulation for purpose. Discipline cannot survive in this environment. It suffocates. The second reason most men never become disciplined is harder to accept. Discipline requires responsibility without reward. Most men are willing to suffer, but only if they are seen. They will endure pain if it produces praise. They will tolerate discomfort if it earns recognition. But discipline asks something different. It asks you to do the same thing every day, without applause, without novelty, without immediate proof. Henry Ford spent years refining systems no one admired. No speeches, no validation, no attention, just repetition. Most men abandon discipline here, not because it is painful, but because it is invisible. There is another truth few men confront. Discipline demands identity change. You cannot add discipline to a chaotic identity. You must abandon the identity that thrives on disorder. The man who feeds on excitement, drama, and emotional highs will always resist discipline, even while claiming to want it, because discipline threatens his familiar self. Henry Ford did not see himself as a dreamer. He saw himself as a builder. Builders think in systems. They respect limits. They value consistency over emotion. Most men want results without becoming someone new. This is why discipline never arrives. Modern culture makes this worse. Men are taught to express every impulse, to trust every feeling, to act immediately. Discipline demands the opposite: delay, restraint, command. The disciplined man does not ask, "What do I feel like doing?" He asks, "What must be done, regardless of how I feel?" This question alone eliminates most men, not because it is cruel, but because it removes excuses. Henry Ford lived by necessity, not preference. Preference is emotional. Necessity is structural. Discipline lives in structure. There is a moment every man encounters, a moment of resistance. The work is clear, the path is known, but the impulse to escape appears. Most men negotiate with this moment. "I'll do it later. I deserve a break. I'll start tomorrow. Discipline does not negotiate. It commands. Ford understood that the man who negotiates with himself has already lost authority. Authority is not loud. It is final. The disciplined man is not rigid. He is resolved. He does not argue with his impulses. He outranks them. This hierarchy is missing in most men. Their desires vote. Their moods decide. Their discipline waits for permission. Permission never comes. If discipline has never lasted in your life, it is not because you lack willpower. It is because your internal structure is democratic. Discipline requires hierarchy. Ford did not allow emotion to outrank process. He did not allow comfort to outrank continuity. He built systems that removed choice. Most men build lives that demand constant choice. Choice exhausts discipline. Structure protects it. This is where most men fail, permanently. They attempt to become disciplined inside an undisciplined life. They want focus without removing distraction, order without eliminating chaos, consistency without sacrifice. Discipline does not coexist with disorder. One consumes the other. Before discipline can grow, something must die. The need to be entertained, the addiction to stimulation, the habit of reaction. Henry Ford did not entertain himself into greatness. He narrowed his world. He reduced noise. He simplified movement. This is why discipline remained. If you feel resistance listening to this, pay attention. Resistance is not rejection. It is recognition. If discipline requires structure, then the real question becomes simple. Why do so few men build one? The answer is uncomfortable. Structure removes fantasy. Most men are not afraid of hard work. They are afraid of clarity. Clarity exposes limits. It defines responsibility. It removes the ability to blame circumstances. Henry Ford embraced clarity early. He did not ask, "What could I become?" He asked, "What must be built?" This shift changes everything. Most men live inside open systems. Wake times change. Work times fluctuate. Goals evolve daily. Rules bend constantly. An open system feels free, but it produces chaos. Discipline requires a closed system. Not prison, but boundaries. Ford's factories were not creative playgrounds. They were controlled environments. Time had meaning. Movement had order. Repetition was protected. Discipline is not personal motivation. It is environmental engineering. Most men try to discipline themselves without disciplining their environment. That effort always fails. There is a reason discipline collapses during stress. Stress reveals structure. When pressure arrives, you do not rise to intention. You fall to habit. Henry Ford's habits were already aligned. When competition increased, his systems held. When markets shifted, his routines remained. Discipline is not what you do when life is calm. It is what survives when life becomes chaotic. Most men misunderstand sacrifice. They believe discipline requires giving up pleasure. This is backwards. Discipline requires choosing which pleasures are allowed. Ford did not eliminate pleasure. He delayed it. Delay strengthens authority. The man who can wait controls the man who cannot. Most men are ruled by immediacy. They want relief now, entertainment now, validation now. Discipline is incompatible with immediacy. It operates on delay. Here is a rule few men accept. Whatever you do immediately will eventually control you. Henry Ford delayed gratification not because he was virtuous, but because delay created leverage. Leverage creates endurance. Endurance builds empires. Another reason most men never become disciplined is because they confuse freedom with absence of constraint. True freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is doing what matters, without internal resistance. Discipline removes resistance. It simplifies decision-making. Ford did not wake up asking, "Do I feel like working today?" That question never existed. The decision had already been made. This is the secret. Decisions made once remove thousands of future conflicts. Most men fight themselves daily. They debate, they negotiate, they bargain. This internal noise drains energy. Discipline ends debate. Ford did not argue with his schedule. He obeyed it. Obedience to self-chosen structure is the highest form of self-respect. There is a moment when discipline becomes identity. At first, it feels forced. Then it feels normal. Eventually, it feels necessary. This transition is where most men quit, because the old self resists extinction. Discipline demands that parts of you die: the impulsive self, the reactive self, the distracted self. Ford allowed these parts to disappear. In exchange, he gained continuity. Continuity is power most men never experience. They live in cycles. Start, stop, restart, abandon. Ford lived in lines: forward, steady, unbroken. Discipline turns cycles into lines. Most men ask how to become disciplined. They should ask a better question. What must I remove so discipline can survive? Remove unnecessary choice. Remove constant stimulation. Remove emotional decision-making. Do this, and discipline does not need motivation. It becomes default. Henry Ford was not extraordinary by nature. He was ordinary in an uncommon structure. That is the truth most men avoid. Discipline is not rare. Structure is. If you want discipline, stop asking how to force yourself. Ask how to design your life so discipline is unavoidable. Ford did not rely on willpower. He relied on architecture. The disciplined man is not admired at first. He appears boring, predictable, unexciting. But over time, something changes. While others burn out, he accumulates. While others restart, he advances. This is the quiet advantage of discipline. If discipline has always escaped you, understand this: you were not meant to chase it. You were meant to build the conditions where it could not leave. Henry Ford built those conditions. That is why discipline stayed. Discipline is not strength. It is alignment over time. And alignment, once established, creates a force that does not require effort. Only obedience.